Hello everyone, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I hope all of you are doing good. First of all, welcome to the live stream. If you are new to my YouTube channel, please make sure to subscribe to it. Please make sure to like the live stream, and if you are not following me with Twitter, 𝗟R𝘁𝗶𝗵𝘁𝘀, this is my Twitter handle. Please make sure to follow me with Twitter. I occasionally post market updates, calls, analysis over my Twitter account also. So 𝗟R𝘁𝗶𝗵𝘁, this is my Twitter handle. The link you can find in the description of this video as well. And if you would like to receive more organized updates and calls, you can always join the Discord server. Once again, the link you can find in the description of this video. In fact, the link has also been posted in the chat box. So simply just click on this link, join the Discord server. You can also avail the 15-day free trial as well. All you would have to do is simply just create a BLOFIN account using our referral link. The referral link you can find in the description of this video. The referral link you can find in the bio of my Twitter account as well. Create an account on BLOFIN and you will be given a 15-day free trial of 𝗨𝗃 Premium. If you already have a BLOFIN account, as I suppose most of you would already have the BLOFIN account, right? Because BLOFIN is being used by most of our members, most of my audience, in fact, from other servers as well. If you already have a BLOFIN account, there is no need to create a new one. You can simply just provide us with your UID, user identification number, and we will convert it to our referral link, all right? So all of these links you can find in the description of this video, but please make sure to like the live stream and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And by the way, I posted a few updates about the important economic data that was just released almost like 40 minutes ago. You can track all of these important economic news, events, and data at this website, forexfactory.com/calendar. You can simply just track all of this data on this website. You can see that the core PPI data, core retail sales data, PPI numbers, unemployment claims, all of this data was released almost 40 minutes ago. What is the complete interpretation of this data? I had what to expect from this data. I had posted a detailed update on my Twitter account as well. You can see that for all of these different numbers, I had already posted an update. And, as soon as the data was released, I posted another update showing what exactly this data means, right? So you can just go and read all of this, the complete of this update, and find out what exactly is happening in the market. It's very important to keep an eye on the fundamentals as well, but during these live streams we are usually short on time, and that's why we mainly focus on the technicals instead of the fundamental and other news events. All right, so let's talk about the USDT dominance chart. By the way, 15 minutes till the market opens, and we'll see the real reaction in the next 15 minutes. But right now, what's happening in the the crypto market, USDT dominance right now is once again getting rejected at the same 4-hour resistance levels. I have always said this thing that a resistance is a resistance as long as price is trading under it. There is no need to be worried about anything, at least looking at the Bitcoin chart, for as long as we are trading under this resistance level. And the reason we usually always start with the USDT dominance chart is because the Bitcoin chart, in my opinion, is a bit noisy. It sometimes gives little respect to support and resistance level. This has been happening over and over again during the past few months, and this is why it's very important to have another correlated chart which you can always look at and reach to the same conclusion, right? And USDT dominance chart is the best possible choice in this situation. We can see that USDT dominance right now, the first rejection we had at this 4-hour resistance level, if you zoom out a little bit, you would notice that this is a very important resistance level. Back in the month of Feb as well, we had the first rejection, second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, and then finally we had a break above. So, for those of you who are worried right now that maybe, USDT dominance is about to break above this resistance level, don't be worried, because for as long as we are sitting under this resistance level, it still is a resistance level, and there is every possibility that we may still go back down to 4.42% level, right? First of all, let's mark all of these levels one by one. And by the way, towards the end of this live stream, I would be sharing the link with you guys as well for this complete layout. All you would have to do is simply just copy paste that link in your browser, and this complete layout would be copied in your TradingView terminal as well. You wouldn't really have to draw all of these support and resistance levels by yourself. All right. So if we talk about the support and resistance levels on the USDT dominance chart, right now we have 4.64%, 4.6% levels, 4.65, 4.68% level. This is where the 4-hour resistance on the USDT dominance chart is. The next 4-hour support for USDT dominance chart is at 4.41%, and in my opinion, for as long as USDT dominance continues to trade in the middle of these two levels, okay, it's simply just trading in the middle of nowhere, and there is no reason for you to believe that it will go higher, okay? At least looking at the situation right now, there is no reason for me to believe that we are breaking above this resistance level, because we are still trading under this resistance level. As long as we are trading under the resistance, there is no need to be worried about anything. And you would see many of these alerts popping up throughout this live stream, because I have been planning to take a few short positions as well. But I was, somebody pointed out a few hours ago that, Sherlock, why exactly are you not looking for any short positions? Because first I was waiting for the economic data, which just got released, and it's not entirely positive, but it's still much better in comparison to what we were expecting. And secondly, I'm just waiting for the market reaction, okay? We will be taking a look at the others.d chart as well, which is slightly below the resistance level right now, but it could simply just be a deviation. We would have to take a look at it later on. But right now, USDT dominance, still it's trading at the resistance level, so it could be slightly risky if you're planning any short positions right now, okay? Because as long as we are trading under this resistance level, there is no need to be bearish. If we look at the market structure, by the way, the resistance level is at 4.65%. The support level is at 4.2% level. We just had a bounce somewhere in the middle as well. Now, you must be wondering that why exactly price is bouncing somewhere in the middle of nowhere. The reason obviously is the Bitcoin chart, because Bitcoin at that time was facing resistance around 105,000. And we know that both of these charts, they are correlated with each other. So it's not possible that, it's impossible for Bitcoin to not react at the resistance levels, at the important resistance levels. So the main reason why USDT dominance did not go back down to this support level and simply just bounced somewhere in the middle of nowhere was mainly because at that time Bitcoin was retesting the 105,000 resistance level. So on the Bitcoin chart, 105,000 is a main resistance level right now, and if we reclaim that level, we can easily just go back up to the next all-time high, to the new all-time high, which is at to the previous all-time high, which is at 108,000, 109,000, right? But we still would have some kind of resistance around 108,000 levels. We will be talking about that part later on. If we focus, first of all, if you focus on the market structure for USDT dominance, nothing really has changed. Market structure for USDT dominance is still bearish. It's still making these lower lows and lower highs. But at the same time, if you would draw the impulsive and corrective waves, if you would draw the structure for impulsive and corrective waves, you would notice that this was your impulsive wave, this was your complete corrective wave, this was your impulsive wave, and this is happening to be your corrective wave, okay? And we know this thing that whenever there is a corrective wave formation, it can easily go back up to 0.618% level, which basically means that it could be 61.8% or 65% in length of the impulsive wave, which means that if you would draw the fib retracement levels from the start of the impulsive wave, and by the way, this is the start of the impulsive wave, this is not the start of impulsive wave, this is just a smaller internal wave, you will not be taking this one into account, right? So, you would draw the Fib retracement levels, and we know this thing that whenever markets are trending, whenever market is moving in a strong uptrend or downtrend, the two best possible tools that you can always use, the first one is the Fib retracement levels. You can use Fib retracement, Fib extension, Fib expansion. That's completely on you. And second most important tool is the volume profile, right? So in this case, we will be making use of the Fib retracement levels, and slightly concerning thing is that if you would draw the Fib retracement levels, then you can notice that 61% level, 65% level, and that's easily where price can go back up to, is perfectly aligned with this 4-hour resistance, which has, by the way, not been retested before. So if we reclaim this level, on the USDT dominance chart, we will easily go back up to 61-65% level, and that's where the next 4-hour resistance also is. And we know this about the resistance and the support levels, that whenever the first retest of support and resistance happens, that usually is always your single best opportunity to take a long or a short position. So as soon as the flip of this level happens, not only the rejection is happening at the 4-hour resistance, but at the same time the rejection is also happening at a very important dynamic level, which is the anchored VWAP in this case. We would immediately shift our bias towards short positions. We would immediately start taking short positions. And I have a few short positions that I'm looking at. MVOX, C98, these are the few altcoins that I'm looking at. You can see I just went through a few coins in my watch list in the in the BLOFIN futures watch list. There are 450 plus pairs available. I just went through first 50, and I already have few short positions that I'm looking at. And by the way, we still have the long position for RDNT open. This one is nicely bouncing above the 1-day 12 period exponential moving average and the 4-hour support level. It's slightly under the 4-hour yearly VWAP, but once it reclaims this VWAP, it can easily go higher. This one is still looking good. This one is still looking good in comparison to the rest of the market. So if you have not taken this long position, you can still do that. This one is still on. This long position is still on. But make sure to keep an eye on the updates as well. We are sitting very close to the break-even price. I have not closed it break-even as of yet, but you can still take this position. You would get a better average entry price in comparison to most of us. But this position is still looking good in my opinion, because it's not only bouncing off the 4-hour support level, but it's also bouncing off the 1-day 12 period exponential moving average. So a few short positions that I'm looking at, only first 50 coins I went through in my watch list in BLOFIN futures, PYTH. Then we have Python, MBOX. You can see that this one also is breaking below the support level. It's also trading below the 1-day 12 period exponential moving average and the 4-hour quarterly VWAP. And someone is asking in the chat box if we have to close RDNT break even. No, you need not to close RDNT break even. I'm just saying that if you are not in this position, you can still take it. This one is still looking good. This one is still bouncing off the 4-hour support. This one is still bouncing off the 1-day 12 period exponential moving average. And a few short positions that I'm looking at. The first one is Python. You can see that this one is breaking below the 4-hour support, and if I look at the dynamic levels, it's trading below 1-day 12 period exponential moving average, 4-hour yearly VWAP and TVEM ban. I'm just waiting for a few more 4-hour closes below this level, and then I would enter into a short position. Another one is MBOX. You can see that this one also is not only breaking below the 4-hour support, but it's also trading below 1-day 12 period exponential moving average and 4-hour quarterly VWAP, and there is no next support. If price continues to trade like this, it will easily go back down to this red line, which is the yearly VWAP in this case. The next one is OL. This one is also looking really good. You can see that this one is breaking below the support, but the only reason I'm slightly concerned about opening short positions is because USDT dominance right now has not completely broken above the support, above the resistance level. It is still trading at resistance level, but just like I mentioned, if at the market open, if in the next few hours price just breaks above this resistance level, reclaims this resistance level, flips this resistance level into support, we would immediately switch our bias. We would immediately start taking the short positions. 𝗍𝗏𝗏 is already trading below the support level. It is already about to flip the support into resistance. If the next few 4-hour candles close below that level, then the deviation is not going to be there on the 𝗍𝗏𝗏 chart. A complete flip is going to be confirmed, and then we would completely switch our bias. Then we would immediately start taking the short position, right? So, I was talking about the market structure. If you would draw the fib levels, start of impulsive wave, end of impulsive wave, if we break above this level, if you flip this level, it's an easy bias for you. As soon as price breaks above like this, you would need just 1 or 2 more 4-hour candle closes, and then you would immediately close any of your pending long positions. You would immediately switch your bias towards short positions, and then you would wait for price on the USDT dominance chart to go back up to 61-68% level, and that's when you would simply just close all of your short positions, right? And that's when on the others.d chart, which is trading under this level, would easily go back down to this support. By the way, this support has not been retested before. Remember that the first retest is always your single best opportunity to take a long or a short position. And then you have the total 2 chart, which is also trading below the resistance level. It would easily go back down to this support level. Then you have the total 3 chart, which is also trading under this resistance level. It would ultimately go back down to $861 billion level. And that's when, you would simply just close all of your short position. And then you would, based on the market situation, based on the macroeconomic news events, because we have so many things happening in the market right now. Trump is in the Middle East. Trump is on his Middle East tour. He is currently in he is in Doha, I guess. He is in Qatar, and next he is going to visit UAE. He has already signed, by the way, $600 billion worth of deals with Saudi Arabia, and next he is about to sign some trade agreements, not exactly trade deals, but some trade agreements with Qatar as well, worth $1.2 trillion, and then he is going to sign some MOUs with with the UAE government as well. So it's a great tour, but the equity markets are still trading below this resistance level. And you'll have to see the reaction with the equity market as well, because we know that Bitcoin or any of these risk assets have been moving in a positive correlation with the equity market. So you need to really keep an eye on ES as well. But coming back to the USDT dominance chart, this is all about the support and resistance levels, right? That's a very simple thing. This is the resistance level. This is the support level. If price goes back down to this, if you have any short positions open and price continues to trade like this, price continues to move down on the USDT dominance chart, you would simply just wait for price to go back down to this support around 4.42% level, and this is where you are going to see some kind of bounce at the USDT dominance chart. Okay, that's where you would really want to close any of your short positions. That's where you would simply just not completely switch your bias towards long position, but at least you would try to minimize your risk as soon as price on the USDT dominance chart goes back down to 4.42% level, because you can see that if I zoom out on this chart, there is a strong support present around 4.42% level, right? But right now it's still at resistance. If the reclaim happens, it will go higher up to 4.95% level. If it continues to go down, it would eventually go back down to 4.42% level. And based on that, you would have to decide if you should be taking a long position or a short position, right? This is very important. You should always have your external bias completely figured out. I've said this thing in so many of my live streams that as soon as you wake up the next day, the market is not going to tell you, the chart is not going to tell you if you should be taking a long position or short positions. I can show you countless charts. I can show you multiple charts that are sitting at strong, important 4-hour support levels. The first retest is happening, and based on those charts, you would start thinking that you should be taking long positions. And I have really I've just showed you multiple charts that are just breaking below the support levels, that are about to flip the supports into resistance. And looking at those charts, you would simply just say that we should be taking short positions, but you cannot, you just cannot do both of the things at the same time. You just cannot have multiple long positions and multiple short positions open at the same time, because if market starts rallying in one direction, one side, you are going to lose from one side. And in order to have a proper external bias, you need to always keep an eye on all of these macroeconomic news events. You always need to keep an eye on all of these correlated charts, and based on that, you would have to decide if you should be taking a long position or short positions. Market is offering you both longs and shorts, and based on that, if price starts getting rejected around here, I would know that okay, USDT dominance is rejecting at the resistance level, so I should be more focused towards long positions, because Bitcoin should be going up from here, and I would simply just start focusing on any existing long positions that I have, or any of the charts that are sitting at strong support levels. I would completely ignore the charts that are breaking below the support levels or are flipping flipping the supports into resistance, because I have no concern with those charts, right? So this is why, and this is why most people struggle in their trading journey also, because usually they don't really have the correct external bias figured out, and that's why most of the times they are going in the opposite direction of the market. Okay, if you have the correct external bias, 90% of your problems are solved. Even if you have a bad setup and market starts going, even if you have a bad setup and you have a short position open and market starts going down, that bad setup would eventually play out well. And that is exactly why you should have the external bias correctly figured out. It's not really difficult. You just have to draw these levels, and based on that you have to make your decision. If it's a support, you simply just have to make sure that you simply have to make sure that you are not taking, if Bitcoin is sitting at a support, you simply just have to make sure you're not opening any short positions. If Bitcoin is sitting at resistance, you simply just have to make sure that you are not opening any long positions. If others.d is sitting at resistance, you simply just have to make sure that you are not opening any short position. If others.d is sitting at the resistance level, if it's sitting at resistance, you have to make sure you are not opening any long positions. If it's sitting at support, you have to make sure you are not opening any short position. It's as simple as that, and it's not really difficult to draw any of these support and resistance levels, right? And if we talk about the dynamic levels, if I just look at the rest of these dynamic levels, like 1 day 12 period exponential moving average, 4-hour quarterly VWAP, TVEM band, and the rest of these different dynamic levels, they're quite far away on the USDT dominance chart. And in my opinion, once this level gets flipped, then the situation is going to change entirely, and you wouldn't really have to rely on any of these dynamic levels. One dynamic level that is really important, I have explained this in some of the previous live streams also, is the anchored VWAP. So if you would draw the anchored VWAP, let me just turn off the rest of these indicators because they really make the chart look a bit noisy. So if I just focus on the anchored VWAP indicator, this is the anchored VWAP, and it gives you a choice to decide the anchor point for yourself. I'm not going to get into the details of the anchored VWAP, but it's a very simple indicator. With the other VWAP indicators, it's either going to be a rolling VWAP, which would be anchored as, for the past 30 days, for the past 365 days, for the past 1 quarter, for the past 7 days, if it's a weekly VWAP indicator. If it's a if it's an anchored VWAP, which is anchored to a specific date, it's either, if it's a monthly VWAP, it's going to be anchored to the start of the month. If it's a yearly VWAP, it's going to be anchored to the start of the year. If it's a weekly VWAP, it's going to simply just be anchored at the start of the week. But in this case, you simply just have a choice to select the anchor point yourself. Okay, it's not rolling VWAP, it's not simple anchored VWAP, it's entirely different. You have a choice to select the anchor point yourself. You would simply just click on this indicator, and now you have a choice to select the anchor point yourself. And in this case, you would use it the same way as you would use the Fib retracement levels, Fib extension levels, Fib expansion levels, or the volume profile. You would simply just try to select the anchor point where there is an important swing happening. So in this case, I can see that this is the start of the impulsive wave, or this is the end of the previous corrective wave. And if I draw the anchored VWAP, you can see that we had the first rejection somewhere around here, and then we had the second rejection, which is just happening just right now, is around here. Okay, the anchored VWAP indicator, it's really important. Okay, it's a very useful indicator. I explain this to my students also, especially whenever market is moving in a strong uptrend or in a strong downtrend, it's usually a very strong indicator. And someone just mentioned in the chat box that fundamentally we are still bullish. We are absolutely bullish. Okay, I don't really know about the fundamentals. In terms of fundamentals, things are literally always changing. Back on 2nd of April, things were not looking good fundamentally because we had tariffs, we had so many things happening in the markets. But just a few days ago, we just had a 90-day pause. We are about to reach a trade deal with India. We are about to have a trade, we already had a trade deal with the UK. We are about to have a trade deal with China as well. Not exactly a trade deal, but some kind of purchase agreement. US is already negotiating with South Korea. Trump just mentioned today, and during a press briefing, that India has proposed to completely remove the tariffs altogether, 0%. I don't know if that's true or not, because if you look at the news from the Indian side, they're definitely denying it. But Trump has mentioned that during their talks, during the trade talks, India has said that they are about to, or they're ready to completely remove the tariffs on the US product. So that's a very bullish news. They're already negotiating with South Korea. They're already doing it with Japan. They're already doing it with China. So fundamentally, we are definitely bullish. I would like to look at things from a slightly different perspective. from the perspective of chart, we are definitely bullish. Looking at the Bitcoin chart on the 4-hour time frame, the structure is absolutely bullish. We are continuously making these higher highs and higher lows. The structure is absolutely not looking bearish. Even if we go back down to 97,000, 98,000, the structure is still going to be bullish, because this was your impulsive wave. Remember this thing, this was your impulsive wave, this was your corrective wave, and this is your impulsive wave. No new swing high has been created, which means that if you would draw the fib levels from the start of impulsive wave to the end of impulsive wave, there is every single possibility that price may go back down to 97,000, 98,000, and that still is going to be the bullish case scenario. Okay, the structure would still remain bullish even if we go back down to 61%, 65% level. There are a lot of fair value gaps present around here, and that is going to be equivalent to if price on the USDT dominance chart goes back up to 4.94% level. And look how beautifully both of these charts are perfectly synced with each other. So if USDT dominance chart breaks above this resistance level and goes back up to this level right here, and if you would draw the fib retracement level on the USDT dominance chart, you would notice that this 61-65% fib level is perfectly aligned with this resistance level, with this 4-hour resistance. And at the same time, if you would draw the fib level on the Bitcoin chart from the start of impulsive wave to the end of impulsive wave, you would notice that this 61-65% level is perfectly aligned with this 4-hour support level, which basically means that once USDT dominance goes back up to this resistance level, you would see some kind of rejection. Once Bitcoin drops back down to 97,000, 98,000, you would see some kind of bounce happening. But the important part is that we are still sitting at the support. We are still sitting at the anchored VWAP. You can see that if you would draw the anchored VWAP, even on the Bitcoin chart, this was an important swing point. You would notice that if you would draw the anchored VWAP, start of impulsive wave, end of impulsive wave, you would notice that price previously also bounced above the anchored VWAP. And the good part, or the good thing about anchored VWAP, is that it's not just the first bounce, it's with the next bounces as well, with the subsequent bounces as well. You would see there are multiple bounces are happening above the anchored VWAP. So it's not just about the first bounce. So even though the first bounce has happened, even though during the first bounce we bounced off at 101,000, went all the way up to 104,000, 105,000, there is still a positive possibility. There's still a possibility that we would once again bounce off this level. For as long as we are sitting at the anchored VWAP on the Bitcoin chart, for as long as we are sitting at the anchored VWAP on the USDT dominance chart, we are still facing significant rejection, and on the Bitcoin chart, we are still facing significant amount of support, right? So there is no need to be worried about anything. But once we start reclaiming this level, once we start losing these levels, you don't really have to even look at the support and resistance level. You can simply just focus on this dynamic line right here. Once we start breaking above this level, it would eventually go back up to 4.93% level, because the same resistance level on the USDT dominance chart is simply just going to act as a strong support on the USDT dominance chart. Same is the case with the Bitcoin chart as well, right? So this is all about the Bitcoin chart and the USDT dominance chart. Now let's take a look at the 𝗍𝗏 chart as well, which is looking slightly concerning situation, because on the 𝗍𝗏 chart, not only we are trading below this anchored VWAP. Okay, if you would draw the anchored VWAP from the start of impulsive wave to the end of impulsive wave, you would see that the anchored VWAP did give us a bounce at 8.26% level, which was once again acting as a good support level. But now not only we are trading below the anchored VWAP, but if I just take a look at the rest of these different dynamic lines, you would notice that it's the yearly VWAP, it's the quarterly VWAP on the 4-hour time frame chart, it's the 1-day 12-period exponential moving average, the TVM band as well. So we are actually trading below a significant amount of resistance. We are facing significant amount of resistance on the 𝗍𝗏 chart. So it's not just about this horizontal resistance. And remember that the more and more 4-hour candle closes we get below these levels, the more ugly the situation is going to get, because if I look at the previous instances, you can see that we had a break below this level. We closed first 4-hour candle, the next 4-hour candle, and in the next few candles, without consolidating below, without any kind of consolidation, we immediately had a move towards upside from 8.1% all the way up to 8.81%. This is exactly what I'm trying to avoid. This is exactly what I'm afraid about. And this is exactly why I'm not rushing any short position right now, because if we start going back up, this deviation would be confirmed and we would really want to get out of any short position. That is why I'm just waiting for the consolidation part. But if you would really want to get immediately into some short positions, these choices, they look good. Mbox, Python, OL, all of these short positions I'm already looking at, and maybe one of these short positions we are still going to take, because just to be on the safer side, it will be a good idea to have at least 1 or 2 short positions open, at least on one of these coins. PYTH, Mbox, OL, C98, I'm going to open a short position on one of these coins. So please stay tuned towards soon after the live stream ends. Probably I would be sharing this on my Twitter account as well, but I would definitely share in the Discord server, right? Okay, let's take a look at others.d chart. I was saying that it really depends on the next few 4-hour candle closes. If we continue to get a few 4-hour candle closes below this level, then the situation is going to change entirely. Then in that case, we would ultimately, this support level would ultimately be flipped into a resistance, and we would eventually go back down to 7.8% level, and that's where you're going to see some kind of bounce. And this is a very common structure as well, right? Because remember that we were making these lower lows and lower highs on the others.d chart. Let's suppose that this was your impulsive wave, this was your corrective wave, and this was your impulsive wave, and this was your corrective wave, right? If I just show you, if I just draw a theoretical schematic for you, this was the structure on the others.d chart. You have impulsive wave, corrective wave, impulsive wave, corrective wave, and impulsive wave. Now what has happened in the past few days is that others.d chart has already broken above the previous high, okay, which basically confirms the change of character. This is something that we refer to as break of structure. This is something that we refer to as break of structure. But now it has already given a change of character. But what happens after the change of character in most cases is that price would go back down, retest the 61%, 65% fib level, and then would give you a fresh break of structure in this next bullish leg, okay? So this is what you refer to as a break of structure for the bearish leg. This is what you refer to as a break of structure for the bearish leg. This is something that you refer to as a change of character for the bullish leg. And this is something that you refer to as the first fresh break of structure for the bullish leg. And, we are about to see, we are somewhere around here, okay? We already had, we just had a change of character on the others.d chart. We are about to drop from this point. We would eventually go back down to 61%, 65% fib level. That's where the next bounce is about to happen. This is the most likely scenario in my opinion, because if you would draw the fib levels in this situation, start of impulsive wave, end of impulsive wave, you would notice that price has every possible chance of at least dropping back down to this level, 70%, 65% fib level. And in that case, you would really want to have one short position open, because you wouldn't really want to miss out on this whole move towards downside. And once others.d starts dropping down with Bitcoin dominance going up, which is already going up, and deviation has already been confirmed on the Bitcoin dominance chart. I was saying this yesterday as well, that this is not a good thing, that the deviation has been confirmed on the Bitcoin dominance chart. Deviation confirmed on the Bitcoin dominance chart basically means that it would go a lot more higher. It would eventually go back up to 63.58% or maybe higher as well, because this resistance has also not been retested. So very important to keep an eye on both of these charts. And any long position was still risky, during the past 48 hours as well, because remember that Total 2 was trading below the resistance level. Total 2 failed to reclaim this resistance level. Total 3 was trading below the resistance level. It had failed to reclaim this resistance level. Bitcoin dominance had already given this deviation move. Others.d was still trading at the resistance level. So all of these things were pointing out in the same direction, that eventually we'll have a move towards downside. But bounce happened. I was actually expecting a few more bounces around here, but now we are maybe headed back down to 7.8% level, which is going to give some kind of downside on most of these altcoins. But I would still wait a few hours, like one or two more hours to open any new short positions. That still is a risky situation in my opinion. Most of these altcoins are already down 10%, 11%. So whenever a coin is down already 10%, 11%, opening a short position, that always is risky, right? So on the others.d chart, like I explained, there is a possibility that we are about to see this move in which you would go back. We already had a change of character, which is a good thing. But after the change of character, you would see a move towards downside, and then you would see some kind of bounce at the 65%, 61% fib level, and that's where eventually you would see a bounce, right? And then eventually price will go back higher and give you a fresh break of structure. And remember that price is always moving in terms of waves. There are no charts that go straight up. There are no charts that go straight down. You would have another corrective wave, then you would have an impulsive wave, then you would have corrective wave, then you would have an impulsive wave, and price would just continue to move higher highs and higher lows. Okay, at least this is what I'm expecting right now. ETH also was at the resistance level 2700, 2800. We already have discussed in some of the previous live streams also. This is still a strong resistance for ETH, sitting on this small support around 2500. But if things start getting ugly, then eventually Ethereum should also go back down to this support level, which has not been retested before. I would really be happy if it goes back down to this level, because I would have an opportunity to DC into my bags on ETH. My average entry for ETH has been around 3,200, 3,100. I did not sell when it went all the way up to 4,100, 4,200, but I'm still just holding it for a long time, for long term. I'm still, looking to sell it around 4,600, 4,700. And if it goes back down to 2,000 level, because this support has not been retested before, it's going to be the first retest of this support. So that's where I would be looking to open, DC into my bags on ETH, or open any long position on ETH. But, I generally avoid taking any position on ETH, because of the obvious weakness that we have on this coin. But for total 2, total 3, and others.d, the situation is very much the same. It needs to reclaim this resistance for an actual altcoin rally to start. On the total 2 chart as well, you can see that we just had a break below. We just retested the same level that we had a break below back on 2nd of Feb. And if you remember, things were looking really good after the elections back in November. Things were looking really good back in December. Things were looking really good in January. Things were looking really good at the start of Feb. But then things started getting ugly when we had this massive break below this level on the others.d chart. On the others.d chart, this break, we had a break below this, below this level, which is now acting as a resistance. Same is the case with total 2. We had a break below this level back on 2nd of Feb, and now we just are continuing to consolidate in this at the same levels. So for any altcoin rally to start, I would wait for the reclaim of these levels, and once the reclaim happens, that's going to be massive for altcoins, because once we reclaim these levels, we can easily go from $1 trillion or $1.2 trillion from from 1.2 all the way up to $1.6 trillion or even higher as well. Okay, because this is where the last high was at $1.61 trillion back in December, back in the first 2 weeks of December, right? So this is where you would be expecting the total 2 to go back up to. It's going to be really bullish for altcoins. And regarding others.d chart, same story. We are still trading below this resistance level that we flipped back on 2nd of Feb. And if we reclaim this level, if we manage to reclaim this level, it's an easy move all the way up to 10%. We would have this first resistance around 9.2, the second one around 9.6, and eventually at 10.3. We would ultimately, once we flip the structure, it's going to be easy. Obviously, there are going to be rejections at resistance, rejection, bounce, rejection, bounce, rejection, bounce, and then, something like this. Price would simply just continue to make these higher highs and higher lows, okay? John is saying, I hope ETH drops to there. I have a buy order at 2150. You need to keep your buy order at this level, which is around 2000 level, and this support has not been retested after the break above. So I'm really hoping that ETH drops, and it's not even that difficult. ETH has a history of making these kind of scam wicks, so it's quite possible that ETH would drop back down to 22,000 levels, 2100 level. If you get an opportunity to buy ETH around there, definitely do that, because this support has not been retested, and that's going to be a really good opportunity. What's happening with me? So all of these coins, they are dropping once again, because Bitcoin is back at 102,000. USDT dominance has already started making moves. It's about to break above the above this anchored VWAP, but let's see what happens. A reclaim is not going to happen in one candle. It's going to take at least 8 to 12 hours for this reclaim to completely happen. We already know that there is 1 day 12 period exponential moving average as well. So yeah, really important to keep an eye on all of these things at the same time. Now over to you guys. If you have any questions, please make sure to drop in the chat box. Soon after the live stream ends, I will be sharing a short position, and 60 plus people are watching the live stream, and only 28 of you have liked it. I would really appreciate if all of you are simply just able to press the like button, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and make sure to share the channel as well for anyone who is interested in crypto. Anthony is asking, hey Sherlock, thanks for your live streams. Are you bullish for Q3, Q4? Seeing people talk about rate cuts, yes, there is a possibility of rate cuts, but based on the recent macroeconomic developments, we had 3 projected rate cuts in 2025, but now the possibility has gone down to 2 rate cuts. So, 1 rate cut we're definitely going to see, but possibly during the last quarter or during the Q3. And that definitely is going to be bullish for the rest of the market. And I still believe that that is going to be the actual catalyst for the overall market. We remember that back in the month of September, 17th of September, I remember the date when we had the first rate cut after the COVID days. That was really bullish for the overall market, and we had the massive pump, if I remember correctly, from 62, 63,000 up to 72, 73. So yes, definitely that's going to be bullish for the market. Any possibility of rate cuts, it's definitely going to be bullish. Yes, it's not looking hot with USDT dominance breaking above the resistance level, but you would have to wait a little bit. Please, how we get this indicator on TradingView? Joshua, any indicator that you wish to request, please make sure to join the Discord server and open a support ticket. We would share the script with you, for that indicator. Okay, so the short positions are looking good. Price is already breaking below. Let's set alerts on all of these coins. Maybe we'd open a short position in the next few hours because everything is looking good right now. So let's not miss out on these moves and at least open a few short positions. Almost all of these coins are looking good. So it's going to be Mbox, Python, OL or C98. All of these coins are looking really good. So based on the reaction, I'm going to open a short position on one of these coins. So please stay tuned. Or it could be another one as well. It just depends on the reaction that we get. How much time you spend with your students in the mentorship program for one-on-one session? I would like to know that. You can join the mentorship program. We usually have one lecture per week, 1 or 2 lectures per week. Some of the other students have also been taking the lecture recently on harmonics, because every student who graduates from the mentorship program, they usually join the analyst panel, and we usually request them to take a few mentorship classes. They've also been doing that, but 1 lecture per week. I usually try my best to we have a complete mentorship server. I try my best to respond in that server, help with any queries, any questions that you may have about mentorship program. You can always join the Discord server. The link you can find in the description of this video, and then you can ask any questions about the program. It's nearly 10 here in Asia. Which part are you from in Asia? Can we expect a short soon? Yes, I will be sharing a short position soon as the live stream ends, because I really think I have, I'll try my best to share a short position. Is he a scammer? No, I don't really have any thoughts on that. I don't really know him personally. I have never joined his group. He is a quite famous influencer, so I don't really have any thoughts on him. For as long as ES is trading below this resistance level, it's already getting rejected at the resistance. We are still in the danger zone, right? So all of these charts you need to keep an eye on. Guys, please make sure to like the live stream. Just 38 likes so far. And make sure to join the Discord server, because we are still in the RDNT position. It's still trading at the support. It's still trading at the 1-day 12-period exponential moving average. You can see that it just got rejected at the 4-hour ELD VWAP, but just give this position some time to play out completely. I'm in the Discord, but unpaid version. I was considering buying the mentorship, but I would like to know if you do one-on-one session stuff like that. Yes, I do one-on-one sessions. Obviously, the sessions are one-on-one. Obviously, it's not just the recorded sessions. I do one-on-one live sessions, and then the lecture is recorded completely, and then it's edited and uploaded over our website. Students have access to all the recordings and all the content, course, PDFs, resources, everything, indicators in the same server. All the content is uploaded over our website. You will be provided with your own login. Using your account, you can access all of those resources yourself. So yeah, those lectures are one-on-one. We can share the course content as well, but you would have to join the Discord server. live translate. Okay. Yeah, I'm actually really sad about one thing, that I failed to open a position on CVC. I had, probably the best position that I had was on CVC, and it's showing strength in comparison to the rest of the market. It was a breakout trade and it was looking really good. Okay, this was my short position. You can see that it was looking really good. This was a breakout trade, and for some reason I failed to execute it. For some reason I just failed to execute the position in time, because I had another long position open on Prime, so I thought, okay, let's just give Prime some time to play out completely, and then I would open one more long position. But just in a matter of 4 hours, it made this pump. We could have easily opened this position. That was the easiest position in my opinion. You can see that it was a very good resistance level. We had a break above. We had few 4 hour candle closes above this level. So CVC, that position was still on my radar. I was about to open it, but just could not execute it in time. With these kind of breakout trades, you usually have very small window to open any positions, and it becomes really difficult. John is saying I learned so much just by reading his post and looking up what the heck he was talking about. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, John. John, I really appreciate that. Yes, you would get access to the resources, books, PDFs, indicators, recorded videos, live lectures. The mentorship program is for lifetime, so anything that we do, you would have access to almost everything. Okay, you can directly sign up on the website as well, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 you can join the Discord server. Sorry, you can join the mentorship program directly on the website as well. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining in. I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. Please, once again, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to it. Make sure to like the live stream. Make sure to, if you're not following me over Twitter, make sure to, follow 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. This is my Twitter handle. You would really enjoy the content. I'm telling you. Even if you don't have enough capital to join the Discord server right now, you can always avail the free trial. All you have to do is just give us your UID for BLOFIN account if you already have one. If not, then you can simply just click the link in my bio, join the create a BLOFIN account, deposit into that account. We already have a 10% cashback campaign going on. This is a really good campaign. Anything that you deposit into that account, you would get 10% of it back in your account. So let's suppose you have $30,000 spare and you deposit $30,000 in your account, you would get free $3,000 at the end of the campaign, which is going to end in like the next few days. A lot many people already have availed that offer. We every now and then we promote this cashback campaign. So yeah, you would enjoy the benefits of joining the joining the exchange as well, and then you would get the free 15-day trial as well, which is worth $30 obviously. And then you can decide if you wish to join the Discord server, if you just want to keep up with the membership or not. So join the Discord server. The link you can find in the description of this video, and make sure to follow me on Twitter as well. Thank you so much for joining in. Take care and have a great week ahead. See you guys next week.